All right, man. Let's talk some draft prospects, man. So, Rod, I know there was a couple guys that you wanted to talk about. I got the list of the guys that you want to talk about, and we're just gonna go not too in depth. I want to have the video and do stuff like that, so we'll do an in-depth episode probably like next week or something closer to the combine. But we just got a couple of names. So we got Rueben Cain, Spencer Fano, Francis McGow, Mansoor Delane, Jermod McCoy, Kenyon Sadiq, and Jordan Tyson, man. So let's go ahead and we'll do the line players, and then we'll do Jordan Thompson for line. So Rueben Cain, matter of fact, let's do Rueben Cain, Mansoor Delane, and McCoy, because the Spencer Fano and Francis McGow, there's a little conversation I want to have about that, man. And then we'll start with Jordan. So Rueben Cain, man, what do you like about Rueben Cain, man?
All right, Herbie. Look, man. When I was looking into film on Rueben
Whoa,
Cain,
whoa, 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 whoa. Sorry. I seen a comment and we have to address this. Ralphie, you're late to the convo. No, they do technically. No,
I
just
don't think they're going after Max, bro. I
they're
don't think.
not. I'm letting you know they're not going after anybody. All right, this is gonna be. Hey, if we win 3 games, cool. We win 4 games, cool. They're not.
Derek,
They're not.
Derek Carr could be a possibility, but I don't know.
Why, Rod? Why do you want to win 8 games again, bro?
Herbie, I don't want Derek Carr. I don't want Derek Carr. But I'm just saying it's a possibility.
bro. If y'all,
I would rather go
if
with Quinn, bro. Give me Quinn. I'm good
if the
with Quinn.
Dolphins signed Derek Carr,
Give me
then
Quinn.
everything y'all did today is a waste of time. Because that means you guys are trying to be mediocre again, bro. No,
Of course, I'm
bottom
with
out, man.
Herbie,
Punt
I
on this
want the
season.
Dolphins to. I mean, I don't want to pay Malik Willis, like $20 million, but if the Dolphins are going to have competition, maybe they'll draft one of these, uninspiring quarterbacks that's in this draft coming out. I didn't even look at the quarterbacks in this draft yet
It's a
because
bad
I don't
draft,
really
man.
care.
It's a bad
I don't
draft,
really
man.
care for the quarterbacks in this draft, but I have some. I seen some mocks saying if Trinidad Chambers comes, we should draft him or
He's
Eric
not. He's
Russell.
going
He's
back to
not coming
college.
out. He's
Yeah,
not
he's
coming.
going back to college.
That boy, he know, man. He's not trying to go to the Jets or something, man. He already know. You know what I'm saying? He knows better.
put,
You know what I'm saying?
put like this to Ralphie in the chat, everybody who's a Dolphin fan, I would say this: based off of who's going to be in the draft next year, it would behoove you guys to be bad this year. There's way more blue chip allegedly, because we never know who's
You
going to
never
be
know.
who, right?
Right.
But based off of draft potential, next year is a significantly better draft than this year. This is not a good draft, guys. And I don't mean that there's not going to be great players from this draft. Obviously there will. But life-changing, slam dunk, generational, like really, really like great players is not in this draft. You got a Caleb Downs, and that's about it. Everybody else is like good to really good. There
Right.
is no Aaron Donalds in this draft. There is no true life changing player, even at tackle. Like a lot of these dudes would be the third or fourth best player in other drafts, right? So next year is the draft you want. And you don't have a high draft pick unless you're bad. Think about this. The Chiefs are drafting before the Miami Dolphins. That's insane, dog.
I
The
know.
Chiefs are the dynastic Chiefs have a top 10 pick. They were trying to win games and they found a way to lose better than the Miami Dolphins did, bruh.
Crazy, bro. Crazy.
So this is not the draft that you want to be good. I would hope that you guys be bad. But back to the draft, man. Rueben Cain, Rob.
Yeah, so Rafi said something interesting. He said, I can see the Dolphins trading away the 11 for more picks, right? So, Rafi, I could agree with you there. In this draft, I did have a couple of alterations, and Rueben Cain, ironically, was a guy who I thought would be in a trade-up scenario because I don't think Rueben Cain is really making it past the top 10. That's just me. But listen, man, when I was watching Rueben Cain on tape, Herbie, one of the things that stands out his explosiveness, bro. He's a
Yeah, for sure.
very, very explosive edge rusher, right?
He was
He
dominant the whole college football playoff.
bro, he was super dominant, Herbie. And here's the thing: one of his biggest knocks are like, oh, he has short arms. But Herbie, when you factor in the explosiveness he has, when you factor in the variety of moves he has, the way he can set up a lineman when he's rushing them, right? When you look at the power that he has, the
Yeah.
violence that he plays with. He's great with his hands. There were a bunch of times on tape I'm watching him, and yeah, there were times where he was out leveraged by tackles because of the arm length, Herbie, but it wasn't often, right? A lot
Yeah.
of times, Herbie, he's great with his hands. He's able to,
You only need to beat him once.
yeah, right. He
Yeah.
has this, and Herbie, he has the speed, he has the power, right? And look, I know the odds of the Dolphins getting him without trading him, I think he's going top 10.
Yeah,
Like
he's for sure going top 10.
I've seen some people. Like here's the thing, Herbie. When you if you were to look at in NFL history, guys who had a sub 31-inch arm length in terms of all pros or double digit sack seasons, you won't find any. But I do believe he will be the outlier. And if the Dolphins were to draft him, Herbie, I wouldn't mind if we moved him into the interior. Because when you really think about it, when you factor in the explosiveness that he has, the quickness, the speed, there would Herbie, any guard or center who tries to block this dude is cooked.
Yeah,
Like
they could.
they will not be able to keep up with him. So when I looked at Rueben Cain, Herbie, when I was looking at his tape, even though people knock him for the short arms, I didn't really see an issue with it because he has so many other great qualities as a rusher. Even in run defense, bro, he was an excellent run defender. Right, he has a high motor in the run game. So, man, he was somebody that if the Dolphins trade up, I would assume he'd be the guy we trade up for.
Okay, so let's blitz through the next three guys because I wanna focus on Jordan Tyson and I want to focus on Spencer Fanu and Francis McGow. So Mansoor Delane, Jermod McCoy, and Kenyon Sadiq. Now, Rod, you got this one. I ain't look at none of these dudes. I was like, yo, who? Huh? What?
Shout out to Rashad, my boy Rashad in
So
there.
let's blitz through them. Man, shout out to Shot. Matter of fact, let me get to that comment right there, man. If y'all get the number one pick, Arch gonna pull an Eli, so y'all should tank. Dog, if they let this white boy be the number one pick after what he showed last year, now granted he was significantly better towards the end, and I'm talking about Arch Manning, but dog, come on, generational talents aren't that bad, bro. Like
Arch
they're not,
Manning is hype, man. I'm sorry.
like they're not that bad. Look, let's go through the guys who hit the scene in college, bro. Cam Newton. When was Cam Newton bad in college? Mike Vick. When was Mike Vick bad in college?
Right.
Like Peyton Manning, his uncle. When was Peyton Manning bad in college? He might have had a bad game or two, but he was
Bro,
dominant.
even guys like Matt Leinart weren't that bad. Like, when was he
Like, come on,
bad in
dog.
college, bro? Like,
Come
seriously.
on, dog. Like Tua hit the ground running. Like you shouldn't have been that bad at any point in time if you're going to be the number one overall pick. So whatever. That's neither here nor there. But back to the three guys: Mansoor, Gerard, and Kenyon. Man. So quick words for those three guys.
Listen, Herbie, when I was looking at these guys, so I'll start with Mansoor Delane. And when I was watching him, I didn't get to see too much of his tape, man. But when I was watching him, one of the things that stood out to me was I love the recognition that the IQ that he plays with. Like you could tell
Right.
he's a guy that he understands exactly what he's watching when he's on the field. He could read the quarterback, he could read defenders. He had outside of his recognition, I like his size. He had great recovery, high end athleticism. You know what I mean? And there were times in the games that I watched where even when he was fooled initially, his recovery speed was on point, right? And that's something I really look for in a corner because at the end of the day, you're going to be had on offense, Herbie.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
how,
For sure,
how
man.
well can you recover? You know what I'm saying? When a receiver has you beat at the line, right? And he did a pretty damn good job of that. I think he could be a pretty damn good day one contributor. Had great hands. I liked what I saw from him, Herbie. I liked what I saw from him. I think he could be a shutdown corner in the NFL. You said the next guy, Jermod McCoy. That was
Yeah,
the other
Jamal
guy.
McCoy. Jamal
So
McCoy.
the thing with Jermod McCoy is he's coming off an ACL. He didn't really play all of last year, so any tape that you see of him is going to be from 2024. But I got to tell you, Herbie, I know that Jeff Hafley likes to run kind of like an attacking 4-3 scheme, and he likes to mix a variety of coverages. Jermod McCoy, if and this is a big if, depending on how he is coming off the injury. When you look at him, Herbie, he has great speed. He's another guy that has excellent athleticism. And the thing I really liked about him, Herbie, when I was watching him on tape, he's a receiver that loves to get. I mean, my bad. He's a cornerback that loves to get in receivers play. He loves to get in a receiver's face. Like
Right.
he will be all up in your space. Like he is perfect for like a press man kind of scheme, where he can get hands on a guy and he trusts his speed, he trusts his athleticism. In the event that a guy can actually kind of overcome him on the jam, he can recover, right? And that's something that you always like in a cornerback. Even in zone coverage, his recognition, his closing speed on tackles, you see it pops out to you on the film, Herbie. In the games against Alabama, there was a couple other games I watched. I was like, well, damn, like this nigga can recognize shit like that. You know what I mean? So, when you have a cornerback, Herbie, who's fluid with his hips, can change direction on a dime, has great IQ. I mean, you can't want
Yeah,
more.
if you got that, that's the building blocks to anything. At the very least, you have a good baseline for a solid cornerback, dog.
Right, right.
We just don't need no bums, bro. Miami don't need no kind of bums, man. All
No, and
right.
which is why I like if we get one of these two guys, I'm happy with it, right? Because from what I've seen, they look like they're ready to contribute day one. And then I think you said Kenyon Sadiq, right, the tight end.
Kenyon Sadiq, yeah.
So Kenyon Sadiq was kind of like my trade down scenario because I wouldn't really want to draft him at 11. I know I was big on Tyler Warren last year, but I loved what I saw from Tyler Warren on
Yeah,
tape,
for
right?
sure. For
And
good
Colston
reason.
loved him too, and they both showed out this year, right? Herbie, I gotta say, I think we have to reevaluate how we feel about first round tight ends.
Hey, man, listen, bro. A dead clock is right twice a day, dog. You
True,
know? You know?
true, true,
Listen,
true,
listen,
true.
I just went off of history. I didn't say they were going to be bad. I was just saying, hey, based off of history. But again, that is come between Brock Bowers and those two guys, it is a new influx of coaching that knows how to utilize the tight end position. That's just what it was. We went a decade with a bunch of bad, well, I'm not going to say bad coaches, but people that did not know how to utilize the position. They tried to put square pegs in round holes. These offensive schemes, these offensive coaches, and these offensive play callers have a much more refined and defined way to utilize tight ends. So because think about it, you're a 6'6", 260 guy running a 4'6". You're a weapon, dog. Like you should be dominating. There's nobody on the field that could keep up with you.
Nah, fact.
Like nobody on the field. You are a mismatch. So now that we seeing what Colston Loveland did, and we can see what Tyler Warren did, and we seen what Brock Bowers did, it was more indicative of people not knowing how to use these guys, bro. But back to Kenyon Sadiq.
Well,
He's from Oregon, right?
yes,
Yeah,
he's
yeah, yeah.
Oregon.
Oh, yeah, dude. Listen. I love a dude, no homo, that knows he's cock diesel, bro. Because that dude doesn't wear anything on the field, bro. Like this man don't wear no pads, no shit. Like dog, he wants you to see every single muscle that he has, bro. Like
I'll say this, Herbie. When I was watching some tape on him, I'm someone who's a fan of versatile players, right? Like I didn't say
right.
this about Mansoor Delane, but one of the things that really I liked about him was when you look at everything he can do in the field, Herbie. Mansoor Delane, he could be an
But
outside
that's the new
corner,
NFL. That's what made the Seahawks so good. Is that
right?
everybody on that defense could do multiple things.
Right. When a guy can be your outside, your nickel, or your safety, Herbie, it grants you so much versatility.
Yeah.
And Kenyon Sadiq is kind of a part of that same class, right? He's a very versatile athlete, right? And he's a guy. Now, if you're a team like, let's say, for example, like the Niners or a team that likes to kind of like needs guys to run the ball and be really good blockers, I don't think he would really fit for a team like that. I think he's more of a receiving tight end, Herbie. He's a guy that you can split out wide. He has excellent straight line speed, bro. Like,
Right.
especially when it comes to running up the seams. Um, he has great hands. His route running is actually pretty good for his position.
And he's a
And, and,
huge target.
and he's a huge target, Herbie. Imagine. And what more can't you like about a guy who's 245 pounds and he's 6'3", right? You know what I mean? Like, and he
And he's a
presents.
tall 6'3", bro. He looks like he's 6'5" out there, bro. Like he's a
Rafi
big
says
dude.
Rafi says Isaiah likely. I can see that. That's pretty much. I can see that. That's actually not a bad comparison, bro. If you ask me. But if we end up trading down, let's say with the Carolina Panthers or one of those teams in the 17, 18, 19, and some of these other guys aren't there, I'd be fine with it. I'd be fine with it, Herbie. You know, what I mean, I'm warming up to the idea of the first round tight ends.
Okay. With Jordan Tyson, we could probably save that because
Yeah.
we're running up for time. I want to spend the last couple minutes that we have with the O line guys, right? So Spencer Fano and Francis McGow. So I got a little bit of time to actually watch both of them before we went live, and this is going to be a fascinating discussion. I have my thoughts, but I want to know where you are. So, what do you like about either guy? What do you dislike about either guy? And if we got plenty of time. We still got the combo. We got all the testing. We got everything. We got the official measurements. But right now, I just want to get your headspace now. Gun to your head, who you picking? So let's start with matter of fact. Let's start with the negatives, and then we'll do the positive. Then gun to your head. So negatives for each person, starting with Spencer Fano.
Okay, so when it comes to Spencer Fano, Herbie, I think that he's going to he gonna have to put some weight on him, bro. He's kind of a small guy,
Yeah,
right?
man.
Um, despite the fact that he moves well, he can be a nasty finisher, Herbie. In the NFL, when he goes up against bull rushers, Herbie, he's someone that I can see getting overpowered, right? And look, I think if he adds some weight, it'll help him out a lot. And obviously he's gonna have to. Right. But that's one thing when I was looking at the tape, I was just like, ooh, damn, like he's kind of small, bro. A 300-pound lineman. You know what I mean? He is 6'6", right? So he's not like the smallest, but weight
And he
wise,
and it looks like he could put on weight, but at the same time, if he could put on more weight, why hasn't he? Right? This
right.
is he's D1. You supposed to be fleshed out with the science and the all the information, and he's not at no baby school. He's at Utah, so he's gotten good strength and conditioning coaches around him. So it does make you wonder. That was one of the first things that I mentioned that I saw immediately. What's the negatives for Francis McGow?
So when it comes to Francis Herbie, I'm just gonna put it out right. If the Dolphins were to draft him, if he ends up being the pick, and this is just me personally, Dolphins fans in the chat, Dolphins fans will come across this. You guys obviously have your own opinions. I think if we were to draft Francis, he'd have to be guard. He's a guy that I think if you have him out on the edge, I don't know if he'd be ready for the NFL tackles for the speed they have. Like he's not a guy that really handles speed rushers well. And I think given the skills that he does have, I think he's just better suited to be a guard rather than a tackle in the league.
So I know I was gonna ask you for the positives, but the way you ended it off right there, it's better to ask you the question. So based off of the negatives with Spencer Fano and based off of the negatives for Francis, gun to your head, who, who would you be more comfortable with the Miami Dolphins drafting? Rod.
I think I'd actually be more comfortable with Spencer, bro. I think I'd be, even though Spencer is undersized right now, I think his
Mm-hmm.
upside is a little more than.
Well, let's talk about the upside. Let's talk about the upside. That's going to be your winner. Let's talk about the positives with Spencer Fano that
No,
you
I
saw.
mean Herbie. When I was watching Spencer Fano on tape, there was a couple things I like. Right, like he moves well. Right, there
Yeah,
were
he
many
does. He
there
moves
there
very
were
well.
many times. Like there was a bunch of times when you're watching him on tape, Herbie. Not only is he getting a good block in the running game, but I've seen him push a guy and then catch a linebacker on the second level. Right, like he's a guy that he can lock in on the power run game. And when it came to pass blocking, he actually was fairly decent against speed rushers. He has quick feet. There were some things I really liked about watching Spencer Fano. Like I could see that there are things that he's going to need to work on when he gets into the league, in particular when it comes to his frame and his weight. But I think in terms of and here's the thing, I'm thinking about the future of the line. And even though we just released James Daniel, um, shout out to you, True. Shout out to you, True. Even
Nah,
though
hey, we gonna go inside baseball. This all Rod. I listen. I tried to cram. I was trying to do research. I said, Rod, you gotta handle it. And shout out to Rod being the A1, man, coming with the details, doing that film work, man. Rod,
Listen,
you
man.
saved the
Hey,
show.
I love football just like y'all, bro. And my Dolphin fans, I want to see us with the best picks. And hey, listen, this is just the beginning. Like there are other first round guys that I just didn't have time.
Yeah.
Like
We
Caleb
got
Downs and other guys who we might try to get.
We
We got
got
plenty of
plenty of
time.
time, bro. This is the off
Yeah,
season,
we
so
got
we're
plenty of
gonna
time.
really do some deep dives. Let me get my perspective because out of the people that you did watch, I didn't need to watch Ruben Cain. I watched him the whole college football playoff. I know about Jordan Tyson, which is why I said we could save Jordan Tyson for next week, right? Because we could have a bigger wide receiver discussion. But I did get time to watch the two tackles, Spencer and Francis, and I came to the same conclusion as you. We can't be drafting guards, dog, unless you're Zach Martin or what's the dude from with the Colts?
Fuck, why is his name escaping me?
Uh, something Nelson.
Yeah,
Um,
Quentin. Nah,
Quentin Nelson. Yeah, it's Quentin Nelson. It's
is
Quentin
it
Nelson.
Quentin Nelson?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Quentin Nelson. Unless you're Quentin
Cap,
Nelson.
OG Cap, man. We see
Man, Cap, man, what up, man?
Shout
We
out
got
to
we got all the OGs up
the
here, man.
purge. The purge has begun.
We
Yes.
here, baby. The off-season warriors are here. The real fans are here, man. If you're here for the off-season, man, you really locked in. But back to what I was saying. If you can get a guard, cool. You can't be getting a guard. Like that was the first thing that I watched when I watched Francis, right? It was apparent this dude can't be on the outside.
No.
And it highlights the flaws with this draft in totality. None of these dudes would be, in my opinion, based off of how many times I've seen. Like, when you're watching film breakdowns, you're supposed to find a play of somebody getting their ass kicked, right? To highlight what could go wrong and what could go right. Like, okay, this is where his weakness. But you shouldn't have that many plays to pull from. Like, right. And I saw it with both of them. I saw it with Francis and Spencer. Multiple plays of them getting their ass kicked, whether it was bad technique on Spencer's fault or the fact that he was small or the fact that Francis is just a big ball of lard, dog. No disrespect. I mean that in the most positive way.
The most endearing way.
The most endearing way. But the way he got beat was the way that you can't be on the outside. You have to be inside. Like, you just don't have the feet, the foot speed, the athleticism to recover. Like when Francis get beat, he gets beat bad. At least with Spencer, when he got beat based off of the film that I watched, I could see where coaching could help this person.
Right.
And Spencer has something that Francis does not have. Foot speed, athleticism, the ability to move at multiple levels. I'd rather miss swinging for the fences with somebody that has much higher upside and a much higher ceiling than somebody who is just going to be solid.
Right.
Solid, and still getting his ass whooped while being solid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it reinforces what I watched, dog. It reinforced what I watched because it's like we basically came to the same exact conclusion.
Right. We didn't even discuss like what we thought about these dudes before either. That's the funny
thing. Facts. No, we didn't do nothing. Like we came. It was obvious based off like in the crazy. It was so obvious. I'm pretty sure we didn't even watch the same people break them down.
Right.
That's how obvious it was, man. So Cap, do we go edge now that Chubb is gone? You put it like this: the edge guys that you guys
best player available, man.
Best player available because you have Bailey from Texas Tech, you have Arvell Reese, I think from Ohio State, and you got Rueben Cain. Out of those three guys, none of those guys are coming to 11.
I don't think so either.
None of those guys are coming to 11.
I think you have to trade up to get one of those guys.
You have to trade up, and it's not worth it to trade up, not for this draft. Like,
which is why I think more than likely they'll go corner. I think we'll either get Delane or maybe Jermod. I actually think I don't think Caleb Downs is going to get down to us either. But I think we'll get one of those corners or possibly. I mean, I would rather not draft Sadiq at 11. If we get him, I won't be mad, Herbie. I had him as my trade down scenario, but I'm hoping I would like someone on the line though. I would like either a lineman or a defensive guy, but it's all about who's the best player, Herbie. Like for me, especially since we're doing a true rebuild, it doesn't hurt.
No matter it doesn't hurt, bro. Yes, trade back, get as much picks as you can.
And Sullivan talked about that in like one of his latest interviews. He spoke about the possibility of the Dolphins trading back and getting more picks. Especially when you consider the fact we have 5 picks in the first 3 rounds, we have a first, a second, and 3 third rounders. There are moves that could be made. You know what I'm saying? We can get the most out of this draft. You know what I mean?
Nah, for sure. Listen, I'm a proponent of it. The Seahawks have done it. Like they built their team largely off the back of that Russell Wilson trade and trading back. Like because the thing is, the most successful teams are the teams that have the most draft picks because these are all crapshoots. The best way to improve your team is having the most opportunities at the crapshoot. the
Facts.
more draft picks, the higher chance of you hitting. Like if you only have 4 or 5 draft picks, you got to go 4 for 4, 5 for 5. If you got 10 draft picks, you could go 6 for 10. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you could truly build. So especially in this draft, bro. Like this draft is so devoid of talent. The Dolphins might not be able to trade back because nobody wants to come up to get anybody in this draft.
Right. There's no one impressive. There's nobody who's knocking your socks off here, bro.
Oh man. Oh my God, man. All right, let me get this last comment right here. Steve Ross wants number 1 pick and try for Joe Burrow. Do Dolphins new GM make splash and trade for number 1 weak draft class, number 1 pick? No, because the Raiders. This is what happens, right? This is what happens, and the Raiders are not trading a number 1 draft pick. Too many people that are Raiders fans already have freaking Fernando Mendoza pictures on their wall.
Yeah,
It's not happening.
Ready. They're so ready for him.
They're so ready for him. He's already mentally went to Las Vegas. He knows he's going to be a Raider. It's not happening. It would take too much for the Raiders to trade that pick, or it would take too much for the Dolphins to offer to trade that pick for it to be worth it for anybody. The Raiders might ask for like 7 first-round picks, bro. Like, because they know they cannot trade away somebody that their entire fan base is expecting to be on their roster in a couple of months. So, yeah, I don't see it happening. I don't see it. Especially